Good afternoon, people. Welcome back to a sweltering DR Sports studio, right? Myself, Robbie, Matisse and Flex are in the building. Three of us have got white t-shirts on.
Yeah, what's going on right now?
This is not white, actually.
Actually, no, it's not even white.
Ooh, right.
It's like a sort of off-white cream. Get it right.
And yours is like a lilac-y, to be fair.
And the other thing is, well, it's not sweltering, man. It's
Flex,
like, it's warm.
back me up here, please, fella.
It's warm.
It's not sweltering, is it?
It's warm.
Can I get
it's
hotter?
very hot.
It can.
It can.
It can, and it will.
I thought you went to Jamaica. You said you went to Jamaica.
Bro, I played football in 32 degrees in
So
Holland.
what are you crying about then?
But in close quarters, when we're all getting amongst it,
Well,
Get it
put,
right,
to
mate.
the
put some
topic.
deodorant on there. You know what I
It's hot,
mean?
mate.
Heated
some
debate in the title.
Literally, heated. 32
We don't need any
degrees,
more
mate.
heat, to be honest.
Hey, put some deodorant on, man. You're just getting sweltering.
Well, I've
How
got
was
some
it?
actually, mate. But it's the aircon ventilator machine thing isn't working at the minute, so we're looking to fix that as soon as possible. Hopefully, touch wood, please.
The thing is, we get it fixed right, and then we'll be back to the normal.
Yeah, that's sod's law.
Don't need
innit?
it on.
Sod's law. Right, what's coming up on the show today? I hear you ask at home. Well, we got the Club World Cup updates for you. This fella getting active in the transfer market, plus all your transfer news as well, which takes us up until 5 o'clock, where we have another live show for you there, where we'll be deep diving even more into the subjects. But Chelsea are moving mad right now, including a 4-1 win against Benfica. And it was definitely hot in Matisse's studio that day because he had his top off. Yeah. Martiti was back, and there was an hour and a half break. Can you explain to us what it was like doing a 2-hour break? Explain to us what's that like, because our clubs have never really experienced that. What do you do in between that? How hard was that to watch? And are you actually happy with the performance and the result in the end? Because you were giving it back to Flamingos as well.
Yeah.
Starting international global
It's
beef.
very, very busy weekend for me. 2 signings, Flamingo fights, plucking feathers, a 4-hour fixture. I didn't plan for that.
But Emma was fuming at that.
She's an island, like you were
fair.
actually. So
Yeah,
I was hungry, I'm tired, I need to shower, I'm sweating, I need fresh air. Every single, you know when you used to play, like if you ever
Water.
played Sims, just red bars, red
Every
bars.
bit of Maslow's hierarchy
Bro,
not ticked.
I was
Need
fit, I
everything.
was cooked. Let me tell you something. I ended the watch along because it was 1-0 and they said, we don't know when we're coming back. And I said, you know what? I've been sitting there for an hour and a half now. I think I've paid my respects. I trust my team with our very strong performance. Whenever they play these 5 minutes, they'll win the game. And I'll do my match reaction now. I'll cover the 85 minutes and I'll go to bed. I upload my match reaction. There's no audio. I delete my match reaction. I look up at the screen. Penalty. Di Maria converts.
Oh, wow.
I reload the live. After a 4-hour live, I reload the live. And I've now gone past 5 hours, extra time, and we do it. But I have to say the first thing, we was obviously following like the weather radars, the reports and stuff. So it was all a lot of fun, very entertaining. Massive credit to the players, because for even, especially the guys that played, I call it first leg, second leg. We won on aggregate, 4-1. Whoever was able to play, Caicedo, Colwell, Palmer, Cucurella, with that long hair as well, in that heat, bro, whoever was able to play first leg and second leg and have like a 2-hour break, exercise bikes, doing light jogs in the changing room, stretches,
Few keep
Nintendo DS, whatever you're doing, credit to you, because as a sportsman, that is so difficult to stay locked in, stay focused, come back, concede a penalty that, okay, letter of the law, it is a penalty because the hand is up in the air, but it was slightly natural position, so you can get very agitated and annoyed by that, especially when you've had to wait 2 hours because of a lightning bolt that is 10 miles away. 10 miles away.
Yeah,
what are we doing right
in
now?
Florida,
Yeah.
happened to me.
What are we
When I
doing?
was out in South Carolina last year, the thing flashed up on my phone, mate. Don't leave the yard, risk of death.
Yeah.
While I'm on the way to the game in the thunderstorm.
I was
mean,
trying to
and
land in
They
Florida.
got to shorten the
It's
radius.
It's common for them. It's far, but they just... Yeah,
No, listen, right? I mean, because I saw Maresca
I agree.
about it,
Fuming.
complaining.
I agree
No, I
with
don't agree with him, right?
I
Because
do agree with him.
No, it's got
Then
to
you're
be a
right.
5-mile radius.
What you do,
Robbie.
you go out there and die, right?
Go out
Because
there
I'm
and die.
telling you, right, that I played. Sorry, I'm not played. I was at a game. Arsenal played over there,
Yeah.
right? That was in. Where was that?
Probably Carolina.
That was in.
Carolina has a lot of that. Was it there?
That was in Florida.
Oh,
Bro.
they've got a lot of storms in that.
Let me
area.
tell you something,
Tropical.
right? When the man them said, they said, right, they go, we're looking off the game for now. Yeah, the game hadn't even started. It was about to start, and they said we're looking off the game, and we were right delayed start, and everyone's moaning. And when I see right that rain come,
It's mad, isn't it?
It's about 10 minutes later when that came, and I saw some lightning. I was like,
Yeah, so
no,
mad
no.
thing, yeah, so
I was
mad
even
thing.
saying to man, I go, this game ain't starting. This is dead. It's done.
But they know
then-
it just passes.
And then it lasted for about 15, 20 minutes.
That's what I thought.
Then it went, and then it was warm again.
2
Bro,
hours.
So to me, I know with your one, but when Maresca's there saying, "Oh, this is ridiculous," and that, well, your man go out there now and he get clapped with the lightning. Like, you know what I mean?
Thunderclap.
Robbie, Liam,
a thunderclap.
right? Liam Delap, brand new signing. Whoosh.
Let's bloody hell. Listen, if there was
Liam Delap gets clapped down, boy, 30 million down the drain, bro.
Robbie.
You know what I mean? Listen.
Robbie,
We're
if
not
there was
manifesting that, by the
20
way,
minutes
but-
left, I could hear it. There was 5 minutes left.
No,
It
but
took,
I
hold on, and I'm gonna come back to you. I'm gonna cuss you in a minute. Took 2 minutes. Took 2 minutes to come off the pitch, and guess where the other 3 minutes went? Walking out to some FIFA Ultimate Team smoke grenade nonsense that you were advocating for in the last show. Every time we're talking about this topic, oh, I like this idea. I like to see the players walking out one by
I like
one.
it.
If they came out on that pitch on time, as a group,
You could have completed
we
the
could
5
have
minutes.
finished that 5 minutes
No, but
long time ago.
you don't know how much. You don't know extra
Great point
time.
that from
Well,
the
what
team.
about the added time?
Brother, come on.
Right.
What about the penalty you conceded, mate?
Yeah.
What about the real reason you played all that extra
That penalty
time?
would never have been conceded.
Matisse, all I know, is honestly, I was a witness to that in America, right? I never seen nothing like it. I never seen rain like that. I never seen lightning clapping all over the place, man. I was like, Jesus
It is a mad thing.
Eight in
Christ.
bold.
Last year when I experienced that, I
it's not
thought,
what we get here.
right.
Yeah,
I'm
we don't-
telling you
I
that.
send the thing back. I go, phone's just flashed up here. It says, don't leave the house, risk of death. Risk. I thought that's a bit
No,
strong.
that-
Then I'm
be a
driving
few
on the
things like
motorway
that.
now on the way to a thing. A guy was giving us a lift there, and the same thing. The heavens just opened up. I was going, right, we're gonna be all right going to this guy. Should we just pull over a bit? And he's like, nah, man.
Nah,
Man,
man.
that's what happened, man.
You go through it.
Gone soon, man. And we got there, and then you have to wait a little bit longer.
Same thing.
but-
I was in.
and it was in South Carolina. Yeah.
I was in Miami.
Same
Same thing.
It was a
I was in
Liverpool game. It was against you.
I was in Miami. We were at a game. It's actually no, I wasn't at a game. It was this Soccer X conference over there. Yeah, went out the night. Right, they said there's going to be some rain. Right, same thing. We're in a restaurant. Right, my phone goes ding.
Yeah.
Same thing
So
that
I
you
tell
said.
you, yeah.
Don't
leave
where
where your
you
ag are
are,
dead.
risk of death and all that. And then I'm looking at my phone and I just see everybody else in the restaurant just ba-ding, ba-ding, ba-ding. Everyone's like, right. So I was like, all right, right. Then another one came about 20 minutes later, said, don't leave till 6 a.m. This was about 10 o'clock at night.
Mad.
We're in this restaurant.
They
Don't
say
leave,
don't leave the restaurant.
don't leave where you are in that location till 6 a.m. I was like, bro.
So let me ask you something.
Right, so we're stuck, like, when I looked outside, right, everywhere's flooded.
Right.
Flooded everywhere, right?
Was there enough
So-
rain like
so
that?
I'm like-
Is that
I'm
the rain
like-
that actually came?
It was
Or
calm.
it was just lightning?
Yeah, so I was like,
Oh, so you never actually had the storm
You didn't
there?
have
It was
nothing.
just
That's what I'm
because the
saying.
lightning.
no,
and that
was
was
so far away, it was outside
everywhere.
the-
No,
outside
but
of
with this one,
Caroline.
everywhere was flooded, and then I'm like, bro, I'm not staying here, right? I said, I want to get back to the hotel, and then everybody's with me, is all panicking, and then I go, you know what? I've got an idea. And I just went onto Uber, I got like one 4x4.
Well, you said we'll be right in this if the
I
lightning
said,
comes.
boy, that's high up, boy. We can get through the water. I
High
looked
up?
at the water down here. Yeah, I looked at the water, man. You know, the big escalator thing. Paid extra. When that come, right, I said to the guy, you're going to be good. He goes, yeah. But, bro, we had to be, like, hitting up some pavements that... You see cars, like, flooded completely.
Yeah.
But we got back.
Same happened to me. in
Like,
Florida.
over there, their weather's crazy, man.
So can I ask, how is a World Cup next summer going to take place in America with all of these lightning
Enough
bolts,
stoppages.
earthquakes,
In
San
summer.
Francisco fault line, tornadoes, hurricanes? How are we doing this? Because I personally,
You will get them. You will get.
There
I
will be
feel
games
there will
that
be an
get called
odd
off,
game like what happened to you.
But then
There'll be an
again,
odd game
yours
like-
is like one out of the whole tournament. So let's just hope that.
there's been delay. Yeah, there's been delays
By this
in like
much,
7
yeah.
games, but
I'm telling
just
you,
keep getting extra
It's gonna be
time.
common.
I've
It's gonna be
seen
common.
those. I've seen them. But it ain't no joke, man. You have to stop.
Our pilot was going around
Dangerous.
Miami
Couldn't land.
Airport about 8 times and said, listen, we're going to run out of fuel, so we've got to go Orlando. And then when we got there, we couldn't even get back because the storm had followed us to Orlando then. So it was crazy. And I remember watching Noel Gallagher in this amphitheatre, lightning just going off everywhere.
Yeah, no,
Crazy. It's so tropical out
You
there.
can't play with it.
But listen, Chelsea did win. Chelsea, PSG and Bayern all advanced to the next round. Were you happy with the individual performances? I mean, I have to say, I do agree with him. You have to give credit to the Chelsea players for mentally, physically still being there.
Big
I did
credit.
agree with Enzo in terms of this isn't football. And I also do agree with Jurgen Klopp as well, by the way, who this week has come out and said, you know, there's no rest for these players.
No, there
it's
isn't.
one of the worst ideas ever. And then
I
Cava
think
at Sky
it's a
having
really
a
good
clap
tournament.
back.
Play a bit of paddle, mate.
Yeah, but he's thinking about the players' welfare.
Because it's a good tournament. Like we said it in the first.
Yeah,
week,
it's get like
it's
that. I said when you
the
wasn't here.
matchups. Yeah.
Yeah, I said when you wasn't here
like
to the guys, I was
I know
like,
you
to
did.
be honest, I was hasty in that first because that 10-0 just
Yeah,
took
yeah.
me back so much. I was like, oh man, this is what it's gonna be. This is a farce. But I quickly realised, even in that same show, to be honest, I was like, you know what, I was probably being a bit hasty because the longer it's gone on and the better teams start to play against each other, and also you say it's dread on the players and that, which it is right. But I'm looking at a lot of galvanisation going on. Like I'm looking at Pep with like a bit of a different step now. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Getting
yeah,
a bit further. I saw the celebrations from you lot's players.
Bolted down the
Now, don't get me
touchline.
wrong, the context of what happened about the longevity and that, but
Yeah.
actually them going through and like how they were just all the celebrations. I was like, bro, I didn't see any fans because of what probably what happened. There's hardly any
They all
fans
went
there. Went yard, don't blame them. But like the way the
Because if they
players,
stand, they're going to get soaked.
yeah, the way the players were celebrating, I was like, rah, this. And then I was like seeing all the reports like, you man, 45 M's up.
Yeah.
I'm going,
Yeah.
bro, this is
Why'd you
very,
think we're
very
signing so many
lucrative.
players?
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, man, I think it is starting to come together as the first one. But
that's what I said.
gonna
It's the
build,
first
innit?
one, and I think the next one will be even better. And I just feel that you know what it is though. They're both right because Klopp's right as well, right? They are killing the players.
rest,
What
yeah.
they need to do when they have this tournament, right, is they need to start the season later, then, innit? Like they have to be something like start the season. You know,
But all the other teams that didn't play
end
in
of
it,
August or
everyone else is
September.
on
That's
board
not
for
viable.
Like, the teams that went there.
That's
Yeah,
not going to
but
happen.
you know, I mean, it's
Don't
tough,
think
isn't
they
it?
do that,
Like
They won't do that.
because
There's
it is
no
a
way.
proper. To me, I'm looking at it as a proper tournament. You can see
I
those
just
yeah,
realised
you
it's
can't
basically
play.
like the
they
World
want to
Cup.
win it.
Yeah,
Those
yeah,
teams
yeah.
want to win it, man.
There's
It's
too much
a
money
good
at
idea.
stake.
Like it basically, that's what I
I knew-
wasn't
I knew
grasping.
it'd
It
become
is
like that
literally
because of the
like
money.
I know it's called Club World Cup, yeah, but you know because it's just new. I just think, oh, just trying to give it a super name. When it was the only like
South
a week
American
ago, I
teams.
went, yeah, them teams are taking it serious, obviously. But I was like, raw, like they're there on camp, like a World Cup, but for a
Yeah.
club, like
Yeah.
they're not coming back or
No,
just
no,
going.
no, no.
It's fully like, and the
Locked
season,
in.
the season has not stopped.
Yeah,
for
even
them.
yesterday,
mad.
I saw a guy. He's from Saudi, and he's an Al Hilal fan. Man, he's gassed about this tournament. He's saying like, he reckons they can win it.
And if
Yeah,
you win
like-
it, like, and
Yeah,
get
it's
all
big.
that P's and just get the stamp of like
The trophy looks
it
sick
will.
as well.
Trophy's nice.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
big
yeah,
gold.
trophy.
Did you
Yeah,
see what Pep
that's true.
said? And he said he defended Klopp, and he said by November, December, January, our title challenge could be destroyed
Yeah,
because
yeah,
of
he
this.
said that before. Yeah, it could, and we have to wait and see how it. You know, I remember everyone was saying that about pausing for the World Cup in Qatar. You know, and the games were amazing. Oh, that won't work. The games were amazing in the tournament. We were there.
And sometimes you
And
have to.
the season continued, and
Yeah, I mean, this
wasn't
is
too
an
bad.
exception, but like with that World Cup, I always felt right that if it's the World Cup, it's going to go around the world, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you can't play football in
one place.
Qatar now. It's 50 degrees.
Yeah.
Right? People, if we complain about America, people will be dead. So if you're going to play it in the Middle East, because, they are part of the world,
Yeah,
and they deserve to have it as well as, as Europe, as Africa, as America, you have to make some adjustments. There's no other way around it. If we're trying to say this is a world game, it's either a world game or we just
Yeah.
think it's a European game. Then we just play the Euros.
Yeah.
So
Nice free kick from Reece James. Happy with that.
Beautiful free kick.
Dewsbury
Beautiful
Hall and
finishes
Kunku.
from Dewsbury Hall, from Neto, from Nkunku. Just a really good performance. We was good before the break. Like we was really good, playing really well. Should have been multiple goals clear, and then we were brilliant in the extra time as well. So, and then Flamengo lost, and that really just made my whole weekend. Just to see them just get absolutely
they went too early.
dunked on. Yeah,
no,
just
but they already
take-
won, man.
Nah,
Admin
they
won.
didn't win nothing,
You
man.
know what I mean? Stop being salty, man.
Nah.
He put
I
the
was
world
cooking
onto
them
their job is to put the world onto
Nah.
Flamengo, and it worked on
They were
football
doing
Twitter.
too much.
It was brilliant.
They thought they won the tournament. I had to cook them on Twitter, man.
Dance
They were
now.
mad. Yeah, 100%.
Why are you getting rattled by them, man? You're mighty
No, because,
Chelsea, bro.
Listen, I don't mind having it continental beef. I just want to know what, let's finish it, innit? Don't cuss us.
No, they did their job. They beat you, bro.
Don't cuss us and then run off. Like, where you going?
Don't go
We're
anywhere.
circling back. We're running it back.
Bro, you're supposed to
100%.
just go fair play, man. You lot,
Nah.
you lot troll. Nah.
Nah.
You got what you.
You know,
the order has been
They
restored.
did not do all of that talking. Do you know how many tweets they deleted? They were moving so reckless.
Who was in
I
charge
thought
of the
admin
admin?
was gonna
Didn't
get
it?
Sacked. I thought the admin was going to get sacked. Then,
They get a pay rise. What they
all
get.
that just to get knocked out in the next round. Listen, Bayern Munich and us, yeah, long-time brethrens, man. We won the Champions League in their stadium. They lost to Benfica. We beat Benfica. We lost Flamengo. They beat. Man, big up Bayern, man. Come on.
So yeah, that was a very good result for Chelsea in the end. PSG smashed up into Miami 4-0 in an absolute rout yesterday. Obviously, Bayern Munich beat Flamengo. The next game on Tuesday, City versus Al Hilal, Real Madrid versus Juventus, and then Borussia Dortmund versus Monterrey. And then we'll see how this tournament progresses. Still 2 more weeks of it, so it's not going anywhere. But yeah, good to catch up on that. And Chelsea will get back onto Chelsea in their transfer dealings very shortly. Couple of super chats. Mm-hmm. Marcus says, Don Robbie, change the channel name to TAA Sports.
They want me to mention Trent.
I wonder what that stands for.
He's gone now, man. He's gone.
So move on then. I agree. Clara Bitsy says, Robbie dropped an exclusive on Transfer Daily about Arsenal in talks with Lookman. Someone needs to tell Robbie it's not an exclusive until the agreement is in place or if personal terms are agreed.
Hold on, where do you get that rubbish from?
So
Fabrizio Romano's dropping exclusive all the time about people being in talks. It's a talks that I dropped an exclusive. Are you hurt that I dropped an exclusive?
Jeez.
Because there were some people saying, and then the next day everybody was running with it. Right? It's an exclusive.
Don Robbie.
And our understanding is that he's in talks.
Not understanding, I know for sure. Right?
Ooh, he's put a chest out on it.
100% different.
Put
I'm
a chest
working
out
24
on it.
hours a day.
So-
not
so-
100% he's going to come to Arsenal. 100%.
No,
he's in talks.
listen, if you look at nearly every
That's
room,
what talks is, isn't it?
if you look at nearly every room, Eze's talks. Is she saying that about?
I could
that?
be a journalist, you know.
No, this is in it. Like the thing is, right? When it's me now, Eze, that big rumour that went around the place, right? That's Eze in talks, not signing, not thing, in talks.
We'll see.
When
You might not
say,
see. I don't mean the talks didn't happen.
talks doesn't mean talks.
If we don't have to prove the talks happened, then I could say the talks happened with anyone.
Actually, if you actually,
We should drop some exclusives on this. Just
if
because.
you actually listen to what I do, mine, I know I'm telling the truth. I could say that about anything, but that's the only one I've dropped because I know for sure that happened, that they've been in talks.
They're gonna call it the
Now,
Robbie Bombers.
what we have to remember, as I
Don
said,
Bomba.
what we have to remember, as I actually said on the show, is that talks don't mean we're signing the player. I mean, they'll be talking to a lot of players,
Exactly.
but they have been in talks with Lookman, and why not? He's going to go this season. So why not talk? He's a very underrated player, to be fair.
Add that as well, yeah.
I do think he's a very underrated player, because you think about it, like, no one's really talking about him.
Yeah.
Even when I was sort of looking, I don't know about you guys, I love Eze, but I was kind of comparing their stats. He's way better than Eze's,
Oh yeah.
Right? And Eze, I know he scored a goal in the final of the FA Cup. He scored a hat-trick in the final of the Euros.
What was that?
The Europa League.
Yeah.
When they were, expected to lose that game. Remember, they were playing Bayer Leverkusen.
And they beat
the whole
us 3-0
season
at
unbeaten.
Anfield.
Yeah, so...
Good team, man.
Yeah,
Good team.
Lookman's been... I know he flopped originally when he was playing over here, but he's gone to Atalanta. Even last season, he scored a load of goals.
He has been at a lot of
Last
clubs in
couple
England, doesn't he?
Yeah,
But the
he's
last
lost his way-
couple-
and Germany, he's lost his way a bit. And
Yeah,
then
last couple
found it now.
seasons, he's been really top.
Yeah.
So,
he has.
let's see.
Gotti17 says Don Robbie's plan D is now Jackson, not Nkunku.
It's not my plan D.
Definitely not mine
And as
either. I
said,
do
we
not
did
want
a-
that
we
fella.
We did a poll on AFTV, right? Would you have on Transfer Daily? Would you have Jackson at Arsenal? 99% said no. That's the most
a lot of
overwhelming
people, mate.
well-being
Wow,
poll
it's a
we've
lot
ever
of
had.
people.
99.
You man want to negotiate?
I don't think so.
You know the
Send
thing.
us some more money, yeah?
I said already, right? Jackson, he's got all the attributes. He's just not clinical enough because he's a
He's like
handful.
Jesus.
And Nunes.
And you need
yeah.
a replacement for Jesus because
Yeah.
he's injured.
No, you're good. You know who else is like? I tell you, Joao Pedro reminds me of Jesus as well.
Yeah, he does.
He's a skillful
Does.
player in that, but not clinical enough.
I think Nunes
Are you happy
and
with-
Jackson are more similar, I'd say.
Nunes.
Nunes and Jackson are more similar to
Yeah,
Pedro and
because
Jesus.
both of them are absolutely.
Like-
You look
Jackson
at
is not like Nunes, bro. Nunes is in a whole playground of his own.
Premier League winner, mate.
No, that brother, yeah, I bet. And then you're going to sell
was
him,
that
right?
last
60
season. Was
mil.
that, last season, Matisse, was that Jackson's first full season?
No, it's second
Second.
full season, yeah.
I think. Listen, he's a handful, but he's just if he was clinical, he'd be like 100
Yeah,
million
he's
pound-
not polished
100
enough.
million pound player.
He's got good raw attributes, like he's lightning quick, I think. and he's actually deceptively
Strong as well,
He's
man.
strong.
You're
Sometimes he's
basically
hard.
describing
but-
Nunes as well.
Yeah, well,
'Cause
in
Jackson,
a
like,
different way.
drops deep. He
Yeah.
can dribble. He can pass. He can find other players. Like Nunes doesn't do any of that. He, just
does.
runs off
He-
the shoulder.
Flat
He
track.
does.
Just-
He does that
He's
sometimes.
either offside or
There's a lot
Just
less
dropping.
finesse about his
Little
game.
flick on.
I think if Jackson wasn't at Chelsea and he was at someone,
like Arsenal.
shut up. But I think if he was
Arteta
at,
can
if he
fix
was
him.
at,
How much?
let's just say he was at Everton, he would soar at a team like that.
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
That's
they don't
dark.
get enough of the
That's
ball.
dark, man.
We're almost going down every year.
I just think the
Send
Chelsea
them somewhere nice at least.
Chelsea-
Like,
16th, 17th.
No, but
every
he
No,
year.
but I
fit
just
in,
think
he
the
fit in
Chelsea's
with
too
the
much
Chelsea
pressure on
model of what it is you're doing. or
just a
trying
lot of
to
pressure
do,
on him at Chelsea.
Which is gamble
Yeah.
on the youngsters, see what's going on with them, check
Yeah.
them out for a couple of seasons. If it ain't working,
Yeah.
we go to the next.
Yep,
I just
that's
think the pressure of Chelsea is a lot
he
for him.
didn't have any competition. last
Yeah,
season.
yeah.
That
Exactly.
was a mistake.
D. Ritchie says DR Sports and Car invited to the Hornbill Festival from the December the 1st to 10th yearly. A small northeast state in India called Nagaland, known as the Land of Festivals, where 17 tribes meet. I think he's invited us to that before. Clara Bitsy, what about all the fans inside the stadium? Are they immune from the lightning strikes?
Well, they all run inside the stadium, isn't it? Because it's true. And those stadiums, most of them stadiums in the States were open.
Yeah.
So
Who is Greg? My G. Scouser says, imagine the World Cup final gets postponed for 2 hours because of lightning. Seen more postponements than goals this Club World Cup, and Bayern scored 10 in one game. Big up, Greg. See you soon, fella. VM says, also got to watch out for... Oh, I won't read that. Clara Bitsy, Robbie, would you like to address almost all of the comments calling you PR Robbie or corporate Robbie on your video with Lee Judges, where you defend Arsenal's transfer activity this summer?
well, I do. You know, I'm a person, as I say all the time.
Paid by the club, are you?
You waffle.
Yeah, I really am paid.
Books.
You're on the books, are you, Robbie?
I really am paid by the
old
club. But
payroll.
I'm a person,
He's on the
right?
old payroll.
You know what it is with me, right? If the club are messing up, I'll be the first one to say. If the club, you know what I mean? He was going on about the signing of Christian Norgard. And as I was saying to Lee, I was going, Lee, he's not replacing Thomas Partey. Zubimendi's replacing him. He's replacing Jorginho.
Lee did overreact a
And
bit, I
that
thought.
does make perfect sense, right? But sometimes, because it's not the fashionable thing to say,
Is that not
then
obvious?
people say it's PR
but
and
no,
this and
not
that.
in that fan base.
But me, I would tell. I would
Where's
talk.
Sesko?
I would
Who's
talk the
Jokeris?
fact.
That's it.
Of course. So
That's
I
all
said
it.
that, and I said that all
that's
those
what they
things.
wanna hear.
I said all those things. But if you actually look at the business they're doing so far, that is sensible business, and I do believe that they will get a striker before they go on the
do,
pre-season.
yeah.
tour.
So far, it's literally 3 in, 3 out. It's Neto out for Kepa. It's Norgard in for Jorginho, and it's Zubimendi in.
Yeah, and those
Yeah.
players, they needed replacing.
and that all makes perfect sense. And what's wrong with that?
Fabrizio
Right? And
Romano
it's-
just
it's-
tweeted saying Arsenal have made contact with Eberiche Eze's camp over the weekend. Contacts are taking place for Crystal Palace star, with Arsenal informed on deal conditions.
You are not allowed to say that because it's only contacts.
Tottenham also remain keen on Eze.
Yeah, it's only contacts.
It's only
right?
contacts.
So Clara,
and
are
you
you going
made
to
contact as well.
Clara, are you going to message Fabrizio? Because it's not a done deal yet, is it?
Nope,
So you
it's
shouldn't.
not a done
Yeah.
deal, just,
So
yeah.
why are you talking about that? According to what Clara said, you should not mention that.
How
Good
dare
timing.
you.
Am I lying?
Good timing.
How
Yeah,
dare
you're
you.
right.
Absolutely.
Good timing.
SYM LTD says, Partey to United, would you take him flex decent? No, you've got Casemiro. You've got...
Oh no, he's better than him. But just I don't know. Just with the stuff, there's a bit of stuff. I'm just like, just
Yeah.
just leave it.
John
He's a good
Basola,
guy.
do Chelsea know how to spend? Because 130 million to end up with Gittens, Pedro and Delap does not scare me. Also, Robbie, imagine we spent 200 million on our front line. Arsenal fan, obviously. Yeah, they don't do that, but they'll spend it on defenders.
I'm a bit surprised on the Joao Pedro one for Chelsea. I don't know what you think.
I was.
He's a good player. I don't know. I just thought Chelsea.
I hear you.
I'm just a bit surprised.
I'm like, all of our signings have kind of like had me just not like excited, but I'm just like observing. I'm just keeping an eye on it. Like, it's one of those ones where when we was initially linked, I was like, what are we doing? Because we don't play with a second striker. We just play with Palmer in the 10, 2 wide wingers in the touchline, and then the striker. So where's he going to play? Surely we're not spending 60 million on a backup 10. But in the last couple of games in the Club World Cup, we've actually been experimenting with the formation. We played a 3-4-3, played a 4-2-2-2, and then when you look at where Joao Pedro plays best, he could actually play in both those systems, just off the striker or in a front two. So if that's what they're planning on doing, and they're changing the way they've played to what we saw last season, then you can see a space for him in the team. But I agree with you. Like I think he's a good player, but he's not like prolific. He doesn't guarantee you like 15 goals. He's never done it in this league. He doesn't, for me, strike me as someone that's airily like on it, like awesome and like guaranteed goals in the air. But he's like a link man. So he's basically Nkunku walked so Joao Pedro could run. That's basically what this is. And we just have to hope that he actually like impacts the team, contributes 10 goals, maybe 10 assists, something like that, and it works, because he's a good player. But what I don't want him to do is become like irrelevant, or he's a bench player, lose his confidence. Because we always speak about what someone looks like when they're at their best. But what about when they're at their worst? What about when they have no confidence because they didn't really get the game time?
So at your club, it's a lot more likely that you don't get the minutes that you anticipated, so it affects you in a whole different way. But just the signing and the player, I've always been a big fan of Joao Pedro. I think he's a really good player, and I think what he does give you lot is something that you don't have, like in terms of like you look at the nines that you do have, like you say, they're very much, they can run in behind, stretch teams. Joao Pedro's best assets, I know he's a 9, but it's not scoring. It's providing. It's linking midfield to attack. And we look at some of his metrics, like him dropping into the pockets is where he thrives most. And he can take some of that creative burden off of Cole Palmer. Like sometimes, you saw when Cole Palmer had that blip in the season, and everything just has to go through him. I think he can help with that. But it's just, it's a step up now. And there's a lot of competition at your club, and you're in the Champions League, so 50 odd games. He'll get games, but like you said, what does it look like? But him, and actually 50 minutes. Honestly, I think that's about right.
I think it's like some people say it's 50, and then say 55. I don't know, but the physical.
I think it could be.
I like the physical side of this. Like, I felt like we were a bit weak when we came into the season with like.
Done quite well,
we had like Felix coming in last summer.
Never been prolific. Yeah,
kept out of the team by Danny Welbeck.
Yeah, listen, Danny Welbeck was brilliant, but he still played a lot of games. He still played a lot of games and had been.
But he didn't score a lot of goals. I'm surprised.
He's never scored a lot of goals.
No. And there's a lot of penalties in there which he's not going to get because Palmer's going to take them. He's going to have to up his goal tally in open play 100%. But at least the one thing I will say is that the team is more physical. Like, he has got a little bit of a nasty streak in him.
Yeah,
Delap was like the most yellow carded player last season. Yeah. He loves a barge. Jackson's headbutting man next week. I don't know. So like
Do you think one of them can go? Well, not one of them, Jackson.
Jackson
I'm still not really sure if Jackson's going to go because Ekitike's price is like stupid. It's like 100 million euros. But that's who I would want to replace Jackson personally. I would like him to come in.
So Delap and Pedro combined isn't enough of a replacement for Jackson. You'd still want another striker.
Well, if you're going to, it depends if you're playing the front two. If you're playing the front two, you need 3 strikers minimum.
So that's a legit thing that could happen. You just have to.
He's tried it, and it's nice to see because I don't want us to be rigid. I don't want us to be predictable. We need to be able to do different things. So,
but on Chelsea as well, Jamie Gittens comes in for 55, Pedro for around about 50. Chelsea now spent £263 million at Brighton in the last 3 years on 4 players: Cucurella, Sanchez, Pedro, Caicedo. And that doesn't include the millions they spent to get Potter and his backroom staff there as well. In terms of the spending, you mentioned if you play with a 2 up front, you'd like another one. But how far are you away now from going? Because you've still got players to leave. In that graphic we just had up there, you've got 8 attackers. I think that's excluding Sterling as well.
I mean, yeah.
So,
the likes
what more
of
do you need to do?
Sterling's leaving, Felix is leaving, and Nkunku will now leave after this Joao Pedro signing. Guy will go out on loan probably. Pires will be out on loan, so Madueke might even be sold. He's been linked with clubs. Yeah, he's got to go. So there's going to be a lot. There needs to be a lot of sales.
You missed so many names on that.
Yeah, but I'm not going to. Who else is there? Washington. Who else is there?
Esteval, Madueke, Palmer,
Delap,
Jackson, Gittens,
Neto will stay. So it should be a normal number. But remember, we're playing Champions League.
Man.
Playing Champions League, playing Carabao Cup, and what did we just speak about 5 minutes ago? Loads of games.
Yeah.
Loads of games. Nations League we just had. Euros last summer, Club World Cup now. Man City are talking about being burnt out. Look how many options they got. Oscar Bob, Cherky, Mamouche, Haaland, Foden, Doku, Savinho. So listen, you got to have options because if you're going to go all the way in these competitions, you need options.
I learnt my lesson.
You just need quality options. That's what you need.
You see, because this time last year, we was laughing at Chelsea, saying, look at all these millions of players you got. They're porter cabins, they can't even fit in the changing room and that. And I always remember that time when Maresca said, listen, you can do all your laughing, writing this, that, and the third. My squad of 24 or 22, whatever the number was, is here.
Yeah.
Like, really? That's their structure of like, don't worry about them extra bodies. Your hierarchy will sort them out.
Yeah.
Loans, wicked sales. And really, even Chelsea's thing, I know we keep saying, how are they doing this, man? I'm going to sell the hotel and...
Yeah, but
the
that's
women's
the only
team and
reason
that.
they've been able to do it.
But what I'm saying, what I've learned is, though, it is the only reason they've been able to do it. But really, what they've done is exploit a loophole or be smart enough to work a way round.
They have,
That
but-
actually, no one else is trying to do this model. What Chelsea's thing
Villa are
is
selling the women's team now.
there you go. And what Chelsea are doing is going... So I thought, let me just see... Instead of just keep cussing them all the time, saying, you just spent 2 billion. So let's look at like what they're actually doing. And I looked and I was like, rah. So really, you're just buying youngsters, spreading the payments over a lot longer time so they can amortize that so that don't go down on the books as that, so you're compliant with PSR. Have a look at them for a couple of years at best, and then flipping loads of them for high profit. And then there's some gems in there and ones that are actually clicking. And what we're not... As a neutral, I find myself not really looking at the actual team that's doing well and getting better, rather than it's just another one.
As long as they keep getting better, then
like I'm looking at it.
I'll be honest.
They're
with
building
you.
a decent team, mate.
I don't like it. I think it's. Listen, you haven't broken any rules.
I'm saying it's not
And
legal.
like you said the other day, even the thing we're selling the women's team, right? There's other clubs looking at doing it as well now, so copying it and that. But I don't like it. What about the players as well? You know what I mean? Like,
they're signing.
It's their choice.
yeah, it's their choice
If you're
to
a player,
sign.
you
But
say
really,
I'm going to give you 7 years at
it's a bit like a
125.
farm, innit? It's just a farm, right?
Don't
Like,
sign
you know,
them.
Yeah, but
Do not sign
up to the players,
you know,
man.
like at this point, you know
we
what you're
just bought
signing
a
up
player
for.
we're selling a player to Strasbourg. Yeah, that's
Listen,
your club.
I'm not gonna lie. I felt sorry for the first batch.
Yeah.
You know when
yeah,
you put
they
the
got
first
done
batch
there,
in,
yeah.
and you overcook the batch, and then but listen, I'm putting the second batch in now, and the third and the fourth.
Yeah.
You know what it is.
One
when
of
you're
them will
coming in.
work eventually.
You know what it is at this point. So if
Yeah.
you're signing, don't really.
100%.
There shouldn't be any more complaints because now you know exactly what you're getting in for. But
And you're also getting 7 years. You're guaranteed. You say it makes extra. Talk about it from a player, mate.
It could
You're getting a guarantee of a certain amount of wages for a long time. And if Chelsea want to move you on, don't think these players ain't getting paid off.
Yeah.
When Renato Vega had to go Juve or whatever, okay, he's upset with his minutes and that. But don't think he's not financially sound because they've had
But
to end his contract
at the
early.
moment, it's working, but I still think they could be storing up problems because look at some of those players you just mentioned there, like Felix, who they bought in last year. You've got to try and get rid of him. You've got to try and get rid of Sterling.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
not going to be able to get the value for those players.
But the early doors, that's what I'm saying. The first
Nkunku,
batch, you got it wrong.
they
Like,
got, yeah.
I think they're starting to. I don't know, man.
Fine-tune it.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm looking at it differently now. I'm like, right, that thing that I was cussing every week, £1 billion blue, £1 billion bottle, all of that, like Chelsea, 2 billion, man, everything. I'm looking at it now and I'm going,
They've escaped
man,
it
they're
through
actually-
loopholes, though.
100%.
So
No,
loopholes
they're
can run
they're
out after
exploiting
a while.
everything.
You know what I mean? Loopholes can run out.
Yeah.
It's a risky game,
Let's
but I'm
see.
just looking at it with more keen eyes, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I think this is kind of working, though. Like, I'm
this
gonna be
summer
honest.
feels very like safe at the moment.
Yeah.
Like I feel like all the players so far that are
gonna
coming
explode soon.
the values should maintain themselves. You know, it doesn't like Pedro. We've seen him for years and years in the Prem. We kind of know what we're
Even
getting
that,
from
bro,
him
when
at
it
23.
don't work, you man
Delap,
still
30
find a way
mil.
to fleece whoever you need to fleece to get what you need to get. You sent back Sancho.
You-
I've never seen
it's
an
you
obligation.
two.
I've
It's-
never seen it.
Listen,
Obligation. You must buy this player. I
told you, innit?
I'll give you 5 mil.
I told you.
How?
Look at you. You really
Hold
thought
that.
you did something.
Just take a Nacho.
You
Come on.
nah, brother.
Speaking of
Listen,
that,
you try to keep doing deals with me. We're not having a Nacho, and we didn't have Sancho.
You're trying to do deals
Sell
with these
your
two
own
every week.
players, brother. Sell your own players. We're not giving you no money.
Fair
Ask Arsenal, bro.
Yeah,
Come on, man.
that's true.
Just a little something, man.
Bobby, you want Ganacho?
Good player.
Claver says, Flex, now that Chelsea got Gittens, you should be selling Garnacho to Newcastle fans.
I'll sell him to whoever needs to take him because he wants to leave and it's over. It's
Newcastle have been getting hella rejections recently.
done. Shout out Matty
Where's
Renton.
Matty Renton?
He
I
said
need
there's
to
only
chat to
one United, he told us.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Said
late.
there's only one
Only one
United.
United.
It's late.
Well,
Matty
they don't
needs to
recognise the
respond,
one in
to
black
be
and
honest.
white, do they? No players.
I'm seeing Newcastle
what are you
fans
saying,
writing
Barcode?
thesis on Joao
Barcode
Pedro.
FC.
I saw his thing today. He said, Rant. He said, we have to get tough on PSR. What, you're big Newcastle. I mean, there's only one United, Robbie. There's only one. Well, Matty. Sorry, mate. It's not as easy as that.
Oh, it's late. Matty, how do you respond? You've got 24 hours. Arsenal have 14 defenders now, and CDM says SDO. Just a fact.
Got a good defence.
What are you stockpiling defenders for?
They defend.
I don't like to see that in the game, you know.
Anti-football.
But
It's like in COVID when people went out to buy toilet rolls, isn't it? Thinking that
How
there
you
would be
gonna
no
sell Tomiyasu?
toilet rolls. But you got toilet rolls.
Tomiyasu, like his contract will run out eventually. He's been injured, hasn't he? I like Tomiyasu. It's just been injuries that's done him.
Yeah. Doz PR says Nunes goals and assists to games better than most, especially Jackson. Freestyle says 1.8 billion spent, still not one world-class signing. Chell shit, says Freestyle. Is that Doyle?
I don't think we're trying to sign world-class players. Like if
Could
we
be
were
Doyle.
we were trying to get world-class players and we were getting rejected, I'd hear it. But we're not trying to get world-class players. I would like some world-class players, don't get me wrong, but we're not actually trying.
You're trying to make them.
Like we look like we're trying to do. Remember when your scout came out and said we like players that are under 24. We're not looking for like egos or stars. We just want players that are going to come in and fit in the system. That's like, honest to God, this is the peak of what we're trying to get to, because we're not signing world-class players. We're not signing like bona fide X factor.
I'm surprised you didn't just try and go and get Yoker straight.
Like Wijnaldum,
and-
Robertson,
yeah.
Henderson, like. That's what they did, and it
Salah,
worked. They made it
Firmino.
work. Yeah, they made it work. So I'm hoping that a lot of these players that, yeah, they're coming in and I like them, but I'm not really excited. I'm hoping that
Needle movers.
Yeah, when you put them all together, then we can actually make something out of it. But at the moment, it's not a team that looks like a title race next season.
Yeah.
It feels very much like a third place cap from some cups.
Brian says all agents should contact DR Sports if they're trying to increase the valuation of a player. Man will hype up a player as long as he is connected to Arsenal. Agents, get on the phone. By the way, just shy of 7,000 of you watching and 600 likes. That
Do better.
can't be
Come on,
right,
peeps.
can it?
Come on, peeps.
I'm looking at it now. I don't
Must
think
be a
that.
glitch.
Is that a glitch?
Come on.
Servers
We need to
crashed.
work on that.
Come on, you know what to do. We are sweating up in here, right? Pause. But make sure you smash that like button, please, because it does help more than you can believe. Chelsea have earned 817 billion from player sales on the list, whereas Arsenal not even top 50. Says Sonny. Probably of all time, that. DeRicci says, can we have Matisse on Best of Enemies instead of KG? We need at least two fans who know what it's like to be European champions. I mean, if you want that, then obviously it's me. What did you think of the auditions on Best of Enemies the other day?
Terrible. Move on.
Not what you said at the time.
I haven't watched that. I need to watch it.
You need to watch
I
it.
saw the
It's
thumbnail.
good.
I think
It's
it
very
sounds
funny. You
good.
did well, actually. You did very well.
Big up. Robbie hasn't even mentioned the exclusive yet, but this was before you did mention it, so yeah. Great show as always. Oh no, I'm not reading that one. Micah says Madrid should loan their roof to the CWC stadiums. They have got that roof now. It comes in handy sometimes when it's raining. Oh, here we go. Kaiser Franz is back. Hi, Robbie. Can you please do some streams or to the mountain stages of Tour de France? It would be exciting. And a Wimbledon stream also again. Please, Robbie.
Matisse, get on that.
Tour de France.
It's a long one, and you're good at the long one. So
What are you talking about?
you know, the long streams.
Long
You're
streams.
very good at it.
Brother, did you not do a long stream with AGT?
6
Oh yeah,
hours.
yeah, that golf one. Oh,
That
yeah,
golf one. I saw you man at like
Actually,
6 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah,
And I
AGT
just got back
does.
from
6
Bangkok.
a.m. I
as
saw
well.
these guys streaming at this desk, you know.
He
I
told me
really
it's
like
going
that
to be
stream.
2 hours. Right, the whole thing lost in about.
Well, give or
They
take.
said 4 at least.
2 hours,
In
give
the
or take.
office, they said 4.
Yo, I saw Robbie's. You know when Robbie's eyes go like this?
When he's
He's obviously but
That was
dusty
a long
or
stream.
something
Man.
like that.
We started that show. What time? I woke up at 4 a.m. to do that stream.
the other
I know,
week,
I've seen it.
bro, it happened the other
Robbie
week.
and Laurie, I'm telling you.
Laurie,
I'm tired. when Laurie starts leaning back, going.
I'm just watching the stream laughing. I'm like, yo, this is crazy.
He was
right?
going the other week on a transfer show we did. I was sitting next to him and I was like,
Nah, the
There's
So,
He's
nothing
always
funny.
smiling as
Robbie,
well.
Yeah.
He's always
tell us
smiling
about
like he knows.
Arsenal. Yeah,
He knows
yeah.
he shouldn't be sleeping on the job.
The classic was when
enjoying that
did
snooze.
a wrestling WWE stream, man.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I'd fall asleep at that too, to be fair.
Them ones there, there's something
I'll be
funny,
honest.
yeah. I don't care if it's a kid or an adult. There's something so funny about watching someone battle sleep.
Yeah.
You know when they're
fighting it.
hanging
Fighting
on,
for
And a
his
dog
life.
try
as
to jump
well.
back in the conversation, like
Yeah,
they weren't
yeah.
sleeping.
Yeah.
They try to carry on playing the game like nothing happened. Oh, it's
Bro was
funny.
fighting
That
for
was
his
me
life,
in the
bro.
pub in Ireland on
What,
Saturday.
you dropping
The
asleep?
fellow went, Colin, have we got the pillow for the sleepers? and he was
What,
like,
you
oh, I'm
just napping
sitting
or
on
you had
it.
too many?
Yeah, no, I was just tired, bro. I
I
just
couldn't keep
literally
the pace,
started.
man. The Irishman had killed
Oh,
him.
no, honestly.
Sometimes you know
bro.
in the Raven, a man, big speaker box, everything
Yeah.
there,
Yeah.
man's still sleeping.
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
Honestly,
Loud
man.
rave.
100%.
Matisse knows where I went this weekend, and it's an
Yeah,
amazing place in Ireland.
the
but
middle of
them man
nowhere,
like
though.
to drink. Let me
Yeah.
tell you
You
that. So.
couldn't keep pace with him. Man.
Honestly, I couldn't. I actually couldn't.
Proper Irish. guy.
Well, yeah, Scouse Irish genes, so I can still have a bevy. You know what I mean? Like, if by the end of the window Arsenal brought in Kepa, Mosquera, Norgard, Rodrigo, Eze, and Sesko, could they win the league over Liverpool and City?
It's to be seen, innit? It'd be a good window. Winning the window is not winning the league, is it?
Yep,
No, we know that.
absolutely.
Ask West Ham. They had a
Yeah.
great window last year and finished from 5th from bottom.
The English clubs in Europe and the Club World Cup need not to compete in the Carabao. Also, should the EPL consider reducing teams to 18? Nah, I got to have 20 teams. Come on. Big up Mohammed sends in a super chat. Nigerian scammer. This is obviously a wind up. Hi GT, when are you coming back to Thailand? You are the life of the party at the Ladyboy Resort. Thank you very much, mate. That's clearly a lie. Big up Mamo. Flex brings a fresh perspective. Sorry, it makes a fair point about Chelsea's formula, and to be fair, it does seem to be working. So we'll see how they get on. Obviously,
I think, just to jump in, it will only work when we win a major trophy for me, which is a Premier League or a Champions League. That is when it's worked, because that is what Chelsea have done in the past. That's what you got to get back to.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be a top 4 club where maximum revenue is coming in with the Champions League money, but you're not winning the majors. When you win the majors, then you can do your victory lap, tell everybody that your grand scheme plan worked. But if I'm watching my rivals lift big trophies, it ain't worked.
Yeah.
So that's how I see it.
So we'll keep winning them.
But you, yeah?
Yeah. Abdessa Salam says, would Arsenal take any of these Chelsea players? But then doesn't name any Chelsea players, unfortunately.
Just going back to what you just said there, AGT, it's crazy, right? We're here, we're talking about transfers, this, that, what deal's good, who's strategy.
Good deal, bad deal. Yeah. Good show.
But you won the league last year, didn't even make any signings.
I know.
And that just...
Well, Chiesa, but yeah, I know what you mean.
Chiesa, but you know what I mean? Like, it's interesting, very interesting.
Yep. Good manager will win you the league.
David Ornstein just said 10 minutes ago that Villa have agreed a deal to sell
their women's team,
so
yeah.
it's done. Yeah.
Yeah, because they were in serious trouble. If you noticed last week, right, something happened when they had that meeting about Chelsea, all the Premier League clubs, where it's like, you know, to close that loophole.
They said no.
And all the clubs voted to keep it open.
Yeah.
Because obviously they're all thinking, this is a way out for us
Get
as
out
well.
of it, yeah, exactly.
So don't be surprised now. You're going to see a lot of clubs selling their women's team and selling this and little fringe
See,
things.
Liverpool's women, Taylor Hines, has just moved to Arsenal.
Taylor Hines has gone to,
Arsenal?
Gone back to
gone
Arsenal.
on. She actually started off at
there,
Arsenal. Yeah, she's gone back.
Yeah, I've actually worked
Good
for her.
player
Really
she is
nice
as well.
girl.
Very good.
Yeah, I wish her all the best, to be fair.
Jamaican as well, big up.
Reggae girls, yeah.
You got Thrasher, so you don't know.
Yeah. Chelsea earned 817 million from player sales since 2020 to 2021. Is that true?
I'm not sure the actual figure,
crazy.
but I know it's big.
Big up Matisse, coming to my country, South Africa. Turkish prank soiled you. That was an incredible prank. Have you seen this prank, bro?
Free Turkish, man.
Oh my word! Wow, that was so good.
I was sold.
Matisse.
a lot.
Yeah.
And
he was gone.
in the video, you're like, I've done enough skits. I know I've seen pranks before, and that
The
did not
acting,
seem like a prank.
the acting from all of them was
Yeah.
on point.
Should get an Oscar.
They sold it so well.
Because you're in the country, you haven't been to, like, you
It
just
just
Yeah.
all made sense. It was a
yourself,
Friday, so you didn't get like the court date until the month. Everything just made so much sense in my head. I was like,
You
wow.
gotta watch this, man. You gotta watch
Oh
this.
my
It's
God.
It's unreal.
Crazy.
Robbie, it's time you
he
bring
round?
the DR Sports
Yeah,
panel
man.
to South Africa.
How could you
Laura
do this to me?
Turkish rattle, brilliant. I'm watching it after
Bro,
this.
he rattled everyone.
No,
in the-
Turkish was in on it.
No,
as
Turkish
well.
was in on it. He rattled
So
all
he
of
was
us.
Oh,
rattled.
Yeah.
Now you don't want to watch it.
Bun that. You know. I want to see him get rid of it. You know, he tries to keep the.
Don't worry, we're gonna get revenge on him. Trust, we're gonna plan something for him.
Yeah, he keeps it cool till you don't get no signs.
Yeah.
And then he goes.
gets vexed.
Then he goes mud. Or if Turkey lose,
Yeah. Oh, my
Oh, my
or
God.
miss a penalty.
No,
Oh, my God.
no.
Oh, do you remember that stream?
In the Euros, in
yeah,
the
yeah,
hotspot.
yeah.
I thought I'm the Turkish man. Good man, passionate guy. Jesus
Drinks,
Christ.
drinks flying
Did they
everywhere,
get licked by
bottles.
Italy? Who they get licked by now?
They got licked by someone.
in the 2020.
Did they finish?
Yeah.
They finished like bottom of the group. They were meant to. They were getting
He
all the
was
hype. And,
going mad.
yeah, they thought they were gonna do something.
swearing up the place.
Remember the
Bottles
that was
flying
dark horses.
everywhere. Yeah.
That was when they were dark horses.
Yes,
They are every
Turkey,
time, though.
dark horses.
They are every
They're
time.
gonna do something.
Turkey's
Bottom of the group
best.
did nothing.
Hold that.
I've never seen him like that before.
He lost it.
Yeah, the Turkey
he lost
thing.
it. He
The
lost
dark
it.
horse.
That gets him
different to
going.
Arsenal.
Gets him
It's
going.
different.
That.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
passionate
Nah,
about Turkey.
trust. AGT, shout out to all my gooners out there, and I'm not talking about Arsenal, says Erin. Whatever that means. Right, a bit of other news. Thomas Partey is officially leaving Arsenal. Liverpool Zubimendi will officially go to Arsenal. He didn't go to Liverpool, as we know, imminently. I mean, we've been talking about it for a while. You just want to see him hold that shirt up, get him in the
think it's
training
gonna
gear, and
be
off to
announced this
pre-season.
week.
Yeah. PSR obviously refreshes tomorrow, doesn't it? July 1st.
So,
Yep. And on here it does
Go
say
again, can't
AFTV
ya?
exclusive. Arsenal held talks with Lookman's camp. Can you reveal to us any more on that one?
Can't tell you who I got it from, but yeah, they held talks with him. They, showing an interest
What
in
have
him.
they spoken about?
They're,
What have they spoken about?
What have they
well, I wasn't in the meeting, was I?
What
I mean,
wages is it then?
What did he have for
Nice,
breakfast?
nice weather we're having.
as I said, that Fabrizio
talk.
one you just read out. Where's the detail in that? Right? Yeah, I mean,
Contact made.
the exclusive, exactly exclusive. Well, that was mine. Contact made. Right? They made contact.
Arsenal tried to make contact.
You know,
and
like
Eze
there's tier
just
one
hung up.
journalists.
I'm
and
not
What
tr-
tier are you?
I'm not trying to be an ITK. I
Eight,
just
nine.
got
Have you
information.
written any
I've
replies?
I got eight.
actually,
Tier 8.
you know, I
Tier eight.
actually,
Trusted tier 8.
I actually have had 2 more. Right?
Ooh.
What, exclusives?
Here we
What,
go.
on the way?
Bombers?
So, hold on, I'm going to tell you. So I've had 2 more already. Two more this window, but other people had already dropped it when I got it, so it weren't exclusive. But I got it from. And basically, let me just explain to you how a lot of these people get their information. Yeah, because there's this myth that clubs let them know. They don't, right? They get the most of their information from agents. Of course. The agents will tell them that they had a talk, or agents will tell them that.
Well, they can manufacture stuff.
Or
up
sometimes
as well.
it's from people that are very close to the players that tell them. That's how they get the majority of their information. And then you're right, there's a lot of manufactured stuff,
Yeah,
unfortunately,
to generate
that
hype
goes
and whatnot.
around at this time as well. Because I read some stories sometimes, like even that Nicholas Jackson one. When I read into that, it's just basically a journalist saying that, oh, he's an option for Arsenal. Where did he didn't back it up with no information, nothing. He just, I guess, every striker that could possibly be available would be an option, wouldn't it? But where's your information? Anyone could say that.
Yeah.
It's true.
But when a club has spoken to a player's representatives and that does mean that is facts. That does mean that you're showing an interest because you want to find out the terms.
Exploring a deal, yeah. What
You're
would it look
exploring
like?
a deal.
Yeah.
What does it look like? It doesn't mean that you're the main target. It means that you are an option there. Yeah, I mean, you're exploring. What if? And I did a interview the other day with Jerome Anderson's a big agent, and he actually said that most teams, the majority of the time, you don't get your number one target.
Yeah.
So you have to explore lots of options. So he goes, very few times do a team get their number one target. So I'm not sure. Say, for instance, Joao Pedro, he wouldn't have been Chelsea's number one target. He would have been amongst the targets.
But also, I don't buy with that as well that
Newcastle wants
that,
him as well.
yeah, they put in bid and got rejected. But also, like Chelsea just decided in a day.
No,
He would have been on the list, and there would have been due
yeah.
diligence done on him.
Yeah, they wouldn't have
And
decided.
some-
Chelsea,
Do you know what I mean? I know
Chelsea,
they got the deal done
No,
quick.
Chelsea would have been looking at that
But
since
do you
probably
reckon they've
January.
never? Do you think
No,
Joao Pedro
he's-
was never
nah.
a name discussed in the whole of Chelsea?
Well, listen,
and then they went, get him.
You saw our history of Brighton players, and we got Paul Winstanley, one of our
Exactly.
scouts. We had him on the list.
And I didn't
but-
understand that. There was even Man United fans crying. What was annoying me? Man United fans were using the fact that you got Joao Pedro done really quickly, and the fact that we ain't got Mbeumo yet. I'm like, the correlation isn't always there. Like Chelsea, like your finances versus ours as well.
You didn't
where
make Champions
we are,
League.
You're coming from a position of strength, and you're currently in the Club World Cup, 43.5 million up.
Plus,
counting.
plus as well,
We
like
can't even sell players that, like. So
I'm not gonna lie,
obviously-
Brentford are trying to hold you to.
Oh, they're trying to get every little bit, but
Crazy.
it's still gonna be in and around what it is. But it's our job. If we pay way too much, then our fans are gonna cuss and say, "Oh, why did you?" We suppose we ain't got peas.
So I
every million counts, no?
I
And
had-
the pre-season ain't even started yet.
Yeah.
I had an argument as well. Like, so when people were saying,
Sure.
what Clara Bitsy's saying, and when people saying corporate, and I'm saying, well, why would you pay £10 million more for a player when you know that if you hold out, the player. So Arsenal in the position they're in with Sesko and Gyökeres, right? They got 2 players that they know want to come, yeah. But both teams, both of the players, clubs are trying to get like the high money from. So they're obviously playing off the 2 and sort of saying, all right, well, if you could lose out on what you're here, we'll go with him, and they're trying to bring the price down on at least one of those players. That's my opinion
But that's
on
just
the whole
normal,
thing.
like, you see,
and
like,
that is
when you-
normal business.
you
If
see,
you
and
don't
if you
just
go buy a
take more of
house,
that money to the left.
You know,
winger.
if you go on Auto Trader and a car says $6,000 ONO or nearest offer,
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If you put in a bid for a house, don't get me wrong. If your P's are large and you just want to move quick, you might just go give them what they want. But even people who got the P's go, offer £5,000 less. We'll see where
Yeah.
It's just before money was invented and people were exchanging goods. This is what happens.
Yeah, and I'll tell you the other thing is as
understand.
well. The other thing, and I've had this argument
people
with
are shocked by
Turkish, I've had this argument with my brother. They'll be like, well, just go and put them. So, like, say for instance, sometimes there's a player and he's not available. Yeah? They're like, it don't matter. Just go and throw down 100 million and test the result. Now, you can't always do that because you can mess up your relationship with a club. If you've gone to a club, say you went to Liverpool and we said, I want Salah. And you guys turn around and say, listen, under no circumstance, we're not selling him this season. Salah's not going anywhere. Done, finished.
End
Don't
of
even
conversation.
bother.
Delete the email.
Then you go and put.
And then you come after that, right, and you throw down 120 million for Salah and that and try to destabilise. That can get that club really angry, right, where they said, see what, in the future, we're not dealing with these lot no more. Even if we have a player that's available, we're selling to United ahead of Arsenal because I don't like the way they operate in business. So there's a lot of things you have to take into account. There are some clubs you could go to and just
try the run-ins and just get them
try
out.
and bully up or try and and there's certain other clubs you can't do that. If you do that, they will try their hardest to make sure that you don't get that. We see at the moment, Athletic Bilbao, they're really angry with Barcelona because the way in which Barcelona have gone around trying to get Nico Williams, go really public, he's coming. They've gone now. They're even. It's not to say that it won't happen, but they've even gone now to La Liga and they're saying, "Yo, listen, how are these guys able to even buy players? They can't even register them, and they're making a real big deal of it because of their approach. But maybe if Barcelona's approach would have been a little bit different, it wouldn't be getting the reaction that is. So you got to be. There's a lot.
But the one thing is though, there's got to be a cut-off point where now you're doing detrimental to your own season and your preparation for the first few games, and you got some tough games coming up where if you now don't get that player in because you've done too much haggling, now 100%. You're going to mess up the start of your season.
So what I was saying is, what I was saying, and then me and James both said this, for me, Arsenal must get the key players in that they want before they go on that pre-season tour.
Singapore.
Right, so they got until the third week in July to get one of those strikers done. Otherwise, for me, then I start losing it then.
Yeah.
But they got until then.
That's what I was saying about the Mbeumo thing as well, why I'm like, look, it's you can tell it's close. They're just haggling over either add-ons or it's not far off.
Yeah, he's going to go. He's going to go.
But like, if this was, the reports are saying he'd be there by 7th July when pre-season starts, or by minimum for me, I need to see him on that tour, minimum, because it's been ages. Then my feeling would be different. But also, when we, as United fans, we remember how bad our finances are, and we remember, oh shit, how the hell are we going to sell Rashford? How the hell are we going to sell Jadon Sancho? So the money that's needed, how are we going to sell Rasmus Højlund? How are we going to sell Onana? He was apparently in talks, or there was something there with Monaco. It all collapsed because of wages, whatever. So then you have a different problem, just in the case of my club, of you can't even just go and sell these players. So this money that we need to go and get this, that, and the third, we need to sell players.
By the way, you just mentioned Monaco there, right? And I don't know if it's on your list, but I just got to say that was very moving, right?
Yeah,
seeing Paul Pogba,
it was
in tears signing his deal, man. Like I that really moved me. Like that guy. I said it on the show last week. I want to see him succeed at Monaco. That guy's been through a lot. I mean, listen, some of it's self-inflicted, but some of the stuff that he's been through when you read, right? So for him you saw what that contract meant to him.
Yeah, definitely.
And he's there 100%. Crying and
probably
saying,
thought he'd never play again.
Thanks for having.
Honestly, at the World Cup.
Thanks for having faith
and
in
you know
me.
what? He's got a shot at getting back into that World Cup squad.
I wanted
if he just plays well this year, he'd get back in.
And I like the dialogue between him and the guy that was director of football for Monaco, saying, "Look, man, you know, Pogba was just saying thank you so much. He's saying thank you, like." We're going to have a great time. We believed in you. And it was emotional. I don't think we've ever seen tears whilst the players signing a contract before.
Think about the money grabby in there, how much grand a week and all that. But then when you saw that, what you saw is that a guy just wants to play. He just can't believe that he's actually going to get a chance to play again because, about a year ago, he thought that was it. To
offer the other perspective, though, we had this same situation with Caicedo where Brighton wanted about 80 million, maybe 85. And we were doing exactly the same thing you guys are talking about. Haggling, waiting around, trying to get the fee down. Liverpool coming. Price gone up.
Yeah.
Oh, what about Lavia? We could have... price gone up.
Yeah.
So you need to make sure that
If you dilly-dally too much.
you better know that there better not be no other clubs, because you're saying right now you got the pick of Isco and Sesko and Gyökeres, because both of them want to come to you and you got control over the situation. What if you don't have control? What about if 2 days time someone rocks up and says we want him? What if there's a chain reaction? Liverpool go and get, probably not going to happen right now, but say
But
they
you know
go,
what you do
say they
then?
go and get Isak. Newcastle, whoa, we need Sesko. What?
Yeah, it
All
can
the
change- it
prices,
can change
everything
quick.
just changes. Now suddenly all this planning that you've been doing, you're getting fleeced.
But you
Now you
know-
end up paying 100 million when you should have been paying 70. So
But you know what you do to alleviate that?
what?
You have talks with other people.
Oh my days.
There you go. AFTV exclusive there again.
There you have it, people. Right? That's the reason why you have talks.
Multiple talks.
Multiple
Multiple.
talks.
Man,
Keep,
them,
keep
man,
your
them be
options
talking,
open, man.
chatting,
Yeah.
flirting, fraternizing, all this nonsense, all this time.
Someone just comes in swoops. Yeah, but Tottenham
true.
tried that with Mbeumo and he said, no, I'm only going back. That's
Just-
another reason why they're probably
Just
taking
on a couple of other fairly random stories to come out of this window. Tammy Abraham leaving AC
Yeah.
Milan to join Besiktas
That was a surprise.
for 20 mil,
I
apparently.
thought someone might try and bring him back to the UK.
I thought, someone would have to have a look at that before you,
They must
with
have
all due
forgot about
respect, before he goes to Besiktas. We've got it on the screen there. But he's set to go. He did win the Scudetto with AC Milan, so it wasn't all bad, I guess. But again, I thought a Premier League team would have been in for him.
Genuinely,
Maybe not.
I think they've forgotten that he exists.
Yeah.
Because how are you a lower league table Premier League team, like you're kind of
Everton.
in and around thinking about relegation? Everton
could have been
trying to
perfect.
replace Calvert-Lewin who's just
Yeah.
left.
Yeah,
How are
would've
you
been
not
perfect.
spending 20 million on someone that's
Yeah.
rocked up and done 15 goals in this league before, and he can definitely do double digits, no doubt. That's a mad oversight. That's crazy. I'm very surprised. By
I
that.
agree. I think someone
Calvert-Lewin
like an
available
Everton
on
would have
free.
been good. Yeah.
And his contract's up
Do you
today.
have him? Injury
So
prone.
too many injuries.
Injury
man.
prone. So that's a bit of a random one. Let us know in the chat what you think of Tammy Abraham going to Besiktas. Also, John Duran going to Fenerbahce after less than a year in
He struggled
Saudi.
with the culture and perhaps really misses and stuff like that. I think he just
Hasn't really worked out for him.
Hasn't really worked out for him. Not by goals, by the way. Scored a lot of goals.
When
But I just think the personal side of it.
I went to Al Nassr game when I was in Saudi, man, and he was greedy, man. I was there like, oh, hell.
Passing around him.
But yeah, I mean that's just another surprise, isn't it? Like
Yeah, I mean he scored.
it's going to be a loan, isn't it?
It's easily worth bread though.
That's a loan move,
Yeah, loan.
season long loan.
He has
I'd have him
scored
on
8 in 13
Bring
for
him
Al
on.
Nassr. Well, obviously alongside Ronaldo, 21 years old, 6'1". Scored 12 in 55 at Aston Villa. Still hasn't really had a run of games at a club that gets you over 100 appearances for the club. His most ever appearances for a club is 55 in the league.
Didn't even start 15 games for Villa.
He's doing up
Crazy.
debt collection, bailiff.
Yeah.
Just going around and
Cashing in.
bringing in the money.
But again, Fenerbahce. But again, all due respect,
Turkish league look like they're trying to. You know what I mean?
Turkish league and Mourinho
Got
looking
Sane
to
in
bring
there now
up
as
the.
well.
The title races over there are fierce.
Crazy, yeah. They're taking it serious, man.
Yeah.
That's a
Turkish
good
league is
signing.
on the up.
I mean, that's a good signing for both teams.
Yeah.
Tammy Abraham and Duran come into the Turkish league. I mean,
And Sane, that's what I'm
Oshiman was
saying,
there
Sane
last
went
year.
there as well.
Sane's
Sane,
there.
Yeah.
Crazy, man.
Osman was there last year.
Mad money flying around in Turkey there. So yeah, Jean Duran going to Fenerbahce. Let us know about that. Also, we're talking about Nico Williams and Barcelona later on the 5 o'clock show, but it seems maybe that stalled a little bit. They've already kind of ruined his murals, the Athletic Bilbao fans, and they want him gone.
Fans are so.
But if he can be registered, that's a little bit of a stalling point at the minute. We know what Barca are like when it comes to registering players. Danny Olmo, Frankie de Jong. But, I mean, this one, are Arsenal almost keeping tabs on this one just to see how it progresses, or if it doesn't progress?
I think he'll go there, but they'll obviously be watching him because that's the player they really wanted. But I do think he'll go Barcelona. That they national team, him and Lamar, for them to team up again at a club level.
Yeah.
It was a dream signing for Barca. As I said, the Athletic, they're not happy at the way. I mean, it is a bit disrespectful how they've done it. Like
They
just
always
basically
do
come
this.
out.
Barca always flex their muscles
They
like
always
that.
do
on-
this.
Apart from Real Madrid, that's the only team that can't do it to.
They're
Yeah.
always doing this. Their players talk in press conferences. They talk at international camp. They do the posts. They do everything.
Different culture of doing things
Yeah.
over there.
But what I will say is Nico Williams needs to make sure he can be registered.
Yeah.
Because
Stunt is
it's
development.
happened far too many times now where Barca will sell you the dream. yeah, everything's gonna be great. This is where you're gonna play. Here's the shirt number. Now the next bit of breaking news, can't register, and now you're sitting there for 6 months twiddling your fingers. You can't do nothing. And World Cup year, you know,
Can you
Need to
afford
play.
to not be playing?
no
in
one
that
can
time?
afford to in that Spain.
Especially
team,
Spain's
Nico
golden
Williams.
boy as well.
yeah,
As well,
no one can
obviously,
afford to be
Lamine,
not
but-
playing for 6 months with the World Cup coming up.
And Lamine Yamal's gone to number 10 now. He's taken Messi's number at Barcelona
Beautiful.
after taking 19.
Let's pass the baton.
If I didn't have
Let's
such history of Barca, I would cop a shirt. But it's a disgrace.
That was a long time ago. Go
I'm
over
not
it,
going to
mate.
get over it. I'm
Get
taking
over
that
it.
one to the grave. It's a disgrace.
Just on transfers, obviously Tottenham here, we know according to Matt Law, still retain that genuine interest for Mohamed Kudus. They've still got one eye on the Eze deal. Do you think this is their number one target now, and it was Eze before?
I know for sure. Again,
Another exclusive coming in.
that's
When you
not-
say it with a smile, you're
journalist in the
undermining
making.
yourself, though.
it's not an exclusive.
Your flat
right?
going to swoop this.
It's not an
man.
exclusive because it's being reported, but that's a definite. They have been talking to Kudus' people. So, yeah, I think, and
Be a good sign.
I think that could
very,
happen. Yeah.
very good sign if they get him.
Would be. And Eze maybe leaning
Perfect.
towards Arsenal a bit
Yeah.
more. Who knows?
Price is crazy though. 85 million. He's not worth that.
I don't think they're gonna
Premier
pay
League
that.
tax.
They're not
No
gonna
way
60,
he's worth it.
60,
West
I
Ham
think
don't
they'll
like
do it.
Tottenham. They'll probably try to charge them
Yeah.
all of that money.
Premium.
60, maybe 55, 60. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
West
it
Ham.
depends because Joao Pedro just went for 55, 60. Cunha, whatever. Like now, everybody's gonna be like, "Well, what
This
did
is
you
what
go? What did
happens.
you go for?" Oh,
The,
so
the sporting president was saying that the other day.
Yeah.
So how can
he said,
he-
"I see Zubimendi's 6 months flipping younger than Victor Gyökeres, mate. I just see him go for 60 million euros. So don't tell me nothing about.
Yeah, but that's
Gyökeres.
different.
everyone's
No,
comparing.
but
that's
I mean,
the
different. He had
prices
an
now.
agreement with the man. You know what I mean?
Well,
Mate,
it's not on paper.
I know.
not on paper.
Man did the
bad
whole
man.
Harry Kane gentleman's agreement nonsense.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Bad
yeah.
mind.
You got.
And he
Sporting.
said, I see Mateus Cunha. That's what he said. Go
Yeah.
to Man United for this much money. He's 25 or whatever. He's
That
26.
does, I think.
Like,
you know what?
yeah, the thing
everyone's
called going
comparing
rate.
the prices.
You know when I heard him
yeah,
saying all that,
especially for a
right?
striker.
That's when I knew that he went back on the agreement, right? Because you know he's trying to justify all
Yeah,
these
yeah,
things.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I said that, but listen, I've seen that now, and I've seen this.
But
every half decent player now
Yeah.
feels like a
Nah,
55 to 70.
Easy. And it's true.
Yeah,
if in
base
the Premier
point.
League, if you are at West Ham
attacker as well,
and you
yeah.
see Brighton sell Joao Pedro to
Yeah.
think, what? How old's Joao Pedro now?
23. Yeah.
23. How old's Kudus?
I think he's
24?
25.
Okay.
He is 24.
Yeah.
24.
But he's coming up to 25 on the 2nd of August.
55 million minimum. We can open negotiations.
Yeah.
Imagine.
Bare
Has,
minimum.
has to be like that.
Bare
I was just
minimum.
It
thinking
must
that-
be this way.
Bare minimum. For
just
me,
thinking of
I
that,
can smell the 65 minimum.
Minimum.
I was
Minimum.
just thinking of that conversation with the Gyökeres and
They
everything.
bought it for 40.
He goes, yeah, we had a sheikh. Which sheikh?
Yeah.
Brother. I never sheikh.
Yo.
You know.
To cut-
Did you see me shake anything? Any of you? Like, terrible. Any of you remember me shake his hand about anything about any 55 million? Hey man, come up my office, man.
But he's doing the bad mind thing because he's still that sporting president's still doing the thing of like, listen, I ain't stupid. It ain't gonna be 100 million. Okay, I won't do that. But it ain't gonna be that.
Yeah,
so it
yeah,
leaves
yeah.
this
You
big
got to meet in
scope.
the
Yeah,
middle.
yeah.
Bro, what is it then? 85 plus 7.5? What do you want?
I'm not gonna lie. When I saw the initial release clause, I said that's not happening.
No
That's
chance.
too low.
Yeah, it's not. It's
You
not
and
happening.
you think you can keep banging in the goals and keep doing what
I
the
know-
celebration man was doing? Man was smiling the whole time, doing up this like as if that price wasn't
And
gonna go
I
up.
think they got some of that money as well to go to Coventry.
Yeah,
Yeah, the-
Sell on clause. He should have
It's
stopped.
like-
He should have stopped scoring.
It's like that Ekitike one, right? these man, 85 million pounds they were for Ekitike, man.
Bro.
Where they going with that? But then when you look at the actual contract he has at the moment,
Yeah, it's long.
20% of if they got 20%
why.
sell-on clause for PSG.
That's why, yeah.
So that's why they're trying to
That's
get
what it
85
is.
million because you know.
Yeah.
They want a
Because
big
really,
chunk
he's
out of
another
it.
55 million.
Yeah, he's
60
just
million.
had one good season. He actually went PSG and flopped.
We did, yeah.
But then,
Right,
they're
he's a
saying
good
similar to
player,
Isak
very,
when
very
he
good
left-
player.
When he left Sociedad,
Don't get me wrong.
not a
really-
high volume scorer.
Yeah.
You know, his best season at the time was like
Yeah.
17. You know, and Newcastle were the one that took the punt on him at like 60 plus club record at the time
Yeah.
to say we're going to take the plunge.
No, he looks some player.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
But-
so
You can't
It
like
happens.
85 million. He's just had
mad.
like he didn't even get 20
yeah,
goals.
it's mad.
Yeah.
Bundesliga
and you're
as well.
gonna
Or is that
yeah,
for
yeah.
150?
I mean, but then in the market you go, yeah,
PSR's coming for all of us next summer.
yeah.
I'm
Well,
telling
speaking
you
of
that now.
PSR, West Ham have to sell to buy to abide by PSR, and their only really sellable asset of that value is Kudus. So
Yeah.
And he got a women's team.
Well, they've just sold the women's team as well. Oh, no,
they
that
sold
was
it
Villa.
already?
They're not
That
selling
was Villa.
Bowen and they're not selling Paquetá.
Yeah,
No.
that's true.
Seems like he sold it under
Badly
21
run,
team.
Badly
Might
run
not
at
be
the
playing for
minute.
Was that? Yeah, man.
Every time we see Nicky, he tells us how badly.
Man ain't even got to pay for a
stadium.
stadium, man. What?
I know, we're renting
They're
it.
supposed
Should
to
have enough money.
They should be flying the PSR.
By the way, get them likes up. 7,500 of you watching right now, and still only 1,200 likes. Get them right up there as we end the show on England winning the under-21s for the second consecutive time under Lee Carsley. Yeah, fair play.
Yeah.
And do you know what as well?
Unreal.
That'll do. It's not the seniors, but we'll take it.
That you remember last week when I suggested that Lee Carsley should be in with a shout of at least getting the next job when it comes around. I mean, you can't do better than that.
He didn't want
Two
the job.
under-21s.
Yeah, but he had it already.
He didn't want it. He didn't want the job.
He didn't show.
I know, but now that he's won,
Or was that
this,
because they already
would
made up
want
their
him
mind? They
to
said,
want
listen,
it.
you're just taking over because we have
I
got
just
someone.
don't think he had the stomach
Nah,
for
if
it.
you
Taking
remember-
the England job is
Yeah,
long.
remember he took the job and he'd done some madness in a couple of
Yeah,
games.
changed all the plays.
Yeah.
They just said,
It's
nah.
long.
They just-
England
but he's
job is
under
But big him
21.
up though. You got to respect
Long.
what he's
Yeah,
done
he's
with,
done for
with
under
this
21,
group of players
100%.
and Harvey Elliott.
Bro
5
said-
goals
Hey,
in
you
6
sure you
games.
should be selling Harvey Elliott? The way he's
I've
playing.
never said we should sell him ever.
Top
And if
scorer
we
in
are,
the
it's at
tournament.
least 60. If Jamie Gittens, is that his name?
Yeah.
Jamie Gittens. If he's 55, bro, Elliott should be at least 60, 65.
Going rates, bro. It's true. This is what's
Everyone's
Yeah.
going for the
I'm
same
using
price.
the yardsticks, isn't it?
100%.
They get
But
redrawn
the
every
reason
week.
why
5
you-
goals in 6 games, player of the tournament.
Yeah, but the reason why you won't get that is because everybody knows he's depth and he ain't really going to play. And you didn't really use him last season either. So you
Do you know
can't really
what?
ask
When
for that.
Klopp
kind of
left, he said was one thing I regret at Liverpool is I didn't play Harvey Elliott
Yeah,
more.
'cause-
And then Slot comes in and plays him even less. So
Yeah, yeah.
But 5 goals in 6
Yeah, but
games.
you can't use. I'm not being disrespectful.
It will
'cause
add
it's
on a
wicked.
bit of value though.
It will a bit, but
10 mil
he's-
that will add on.
He's playing.
At a level.
He
that-
shouldn't even really
Yeah.
be
He
in there.
shouldn't be
I'm
there.
saying.
He's too
Obviously
good.
by age, but
How
he's
old
too
is that
good.
man? He's like
23.
23. What the heck is he doing in there, man?
You're allowed one over 20.
Oh my
So I'm
goodness.
saying, so it's like saying, oh, I'm going to drop down level, go beat up the year 6.
Lewis Skelly's out here playing for
I did
England
say
at
it.
18 and you
It's
got
like year
Elliott playing
11's playing
23.
year 9.
Yeah,
21.
like, and then saying, look, and then go back to the big man world and say, buy me for Big Peter Bridge.
Bro, this is like a year 11 go and play against the year
So
7s.
I don't want to
and
hear
then
what you did in the
flex
year
muscle-
6
muscle.
playground, Bridget, yeah? You know what I mean? But no, he is a good player in the Premier League, though. And actually, I think for his development, because he is a really good player, I think he deserves to be
Oh,
somewhere
mate,
where he can
definitely-
play. But like, I know you always say he's obviously a proper Liverpool fan.
Yeah, I love
Probably wants to stay
watching
as long
him
as
play.
he can, but there's going to become a point now where he's probably got aspirations to get in the seniors and kick on from the unders.
I don't think
They're really good
he
player.
wants to play for another team in the Prem. But if it came to it and he was
Probably not
almost
have to.
forced and we got a
Liverpool
great
fan.
offer, then he would look to go abroad.
I'd like to see him in Spain.
Yeah, I would.
Dortmund were interested in January, weren't they?
Dortmund, I think, would be a
That'd
great
be good.
move for him.
Maybe Trent could convince him
Really
to go to
like
Spain.
that. All right, relax. No, but actually, he's already turned down Madrid once. Remember, Elliot? They were interested
Madrid?
in him from when he was at Fulham.
Must be a flirt.
And no, it was. If you not, do you not
Must be
remember
one
the
in
quote?
League 3 or something, Sporting
No.
Sporting Madrid,
No, have
that
some
we
respect,
haven't ever
mate.
heard of
Have some,
before.
have some
Madrid
respect. Have some respect.
Is there a new Madrid that we've not been aware of called Sporting Madrid?
He
That operate
basically.
in the 5th tier of the Spanish
How
pyramid?
many clubs are in Madrid?
Because I heard about Harvey Elliott turning down Real Madrid.
Yeah.
I've never heard that.
They came in for him, and he said he refused. They said, "Do you want to meet Sergio Ramos?"
Racing
I'm telling
Madrid,
you now, he's refused because he's not learned Spanish yet.
No, he said.
He wasn't ready.
I'll read
to
the
stand
quote
in the
out.
press conference and do the.
He said there was a tour of the Bernabeu training ground complex. They sought to convince the youngest player in the Prem to play for us. When they reached for Sergio Ramos' shirt, hanging it up on the wall, he said, "No, it's okay, thanks. I don't like him after what he did to Mo Salah." And that is a
type of
genuine.
fan
That's a
fiction
genuine
is this?
quote. No, it's Athletic.
What are you reading? Someone's diary.
The
or something?
Athletic.
Some Liverpool fan's diary.
It's the Athletic. It's a known quote. If you knew your stuff, you'd know.
Bollocks.
His quote.
And now
It's
you
a known
look
quote.
That's
after all
fine.
that,
He
there's
can
nothing
say
to
that
say.
on the tour.
But he might go back there.
If they
No, he
offer
won't
him
go
a
there.
contract to say,
I
"Come here."
hereby announce I'm not interested in Rihanna. Not interested.
I've already made that joke before.
No,
haven't
I
I?
haven't. I haven't. This is my first time making it.
No,
I'm not
I have.
interested.
It's already been done.
Personally, I'm not interested. Not
Yeah,
interested.
It's already been done.
Not interested.
Because I don't like ASAP Rocky. So I tell you what, just because something happened there, I'm out because of something happened before. So I'll
No,
rule
but
myself
where,
out.
genuinely,
No,
he's not going to go Real Madrid. But where do you think he could end up?
Fulham.
He wouldn't
Yeah.
go back there.
Why?
They don't like him now. They boo him every time
Got
they
money
play
to
against him.
bro. They goes back
He won't
there.
go to Fulham. I don't think he wants to go to another Prem
It's a
club.
Brentford.
But if
So
there's,
with
if there's an option,
Spurs.
Spurs
Villa.
would suit him. Yeah, maybe
Actually, no,
Villa.
they got a lot in the central
But
areas.
if a 60 odd, mil,
Newcastle not
55
looking for a right
odd,
winger.
Bournemouth.
Where's his best position? Is it right
Newcastle
wing?
looking for a
I'd
right
say
winger.
right
They
centre, right centre midfield.
What, in a three?
In a three.
Oh, like
yeah,
a right
on the
eight?
right.
Is he
corner
good enough
of that.
defensively to play that role?
Yeah,
then?
he does get back a lot.
What
He's not
about
the
as a
quickest.
straight right winger?
Yeah,
up and down.
That's where initially we thought he'd come in and replace
Newcastle,
Marcelo.
isn't it?
Newcastle, man, yeah.
I'd
Struggled
say
to get a Langer
Yeah.
out of Forest.
Yeah.
50 million
90
minimum.
mil plus Harvey Elliott. Isaac.
How much?
Very much.
Ross.
Blood fire.
How much is Harvey Elliott? How much
I'd say at least
singular?
50.
Wait, so hold on. Harvey Elliott's worth what?
50.
Did you say 55, 60?
Yeah.
And you're going to give them 90. You must really want Isak.
What about Brighton? Somewhere like
just wait.
Brighton, I think. Brighton,
Let's do the
Bournemouth.
maths on
No, but he didn't want Brighton. He's already rejected them.
Yeah, the man I choose.
He's too good
Picky.
though for that.
Is he?
Yeah.
Brighton.
Too big for
Brighton,
that.
good side,
He's
mate.
too
isn't
good
it?
for finishing like. Where did Brighton finish in the league? Yeah, he's
Yeah,
better
but
than
you
10.
go in there to elevate.
But
innit?
again, I don't think he wants to play against Liverpool. But so if a 60, 55 mil comes in from
What is
abroad,
that much
we
of
would
a
say
fan? He's like,
you
nah,
gotta
it's
go.
time to
Grow up.
play against
He needs to
him.
grow up.
He's only young, man. Go play.
Grow up, man.
Listen, two Premier League medals, mate.
So childish,
You know
man.
what I mean?
Business,
Big 'em up.
man.
don't want to play with Liverpool.
All right, I think that's it. You know, I think that's it for the show.
Don't play, then it. Sit on the bench for that game.
And I will
Still
put the
another
link to that
36
article in
games.
there as well. Right. Big up to every single Done them all. Done them all, mate.
Lovely.
Done them all. Got through them all, mate. We'll be back at 5 o'clock on DR Sports with a 5 at Live transfer update for you. Deep diving into the rest of the stories that we've spoken about today, including Joao Pedro Gittens to Chelsea. This man making moves. My club making moves. Yeah. And your club making moves as well.
Nearly, yeah.
A bit.
Done one.
Trying their
And
best.
the Arsenal are.
And let me know how themselves are going.
Do you know,
That's
That's the biggest problem.
I was saying to
Massive
you,
massive problem.
I was saying to a United fan the other day.
I know.
We got you first game of the season, yeah. And I was thinking about it. I go, we could face a front line of Mbuemo, Cunha, and Gyökeres. Bro, that's a tough game. That first game.
Good.
You
Good, didn't it? Good.
You could. Imagine first day.
That would be wild.
Imagine
Real
you beat
men
them
in
on the
Fernandes.
first.
That's a lot different to Højlund.
Diallo.
This was a decent signing.
You're getting excited now, isn't it?
I tell you, I forgot.
I'm doing just no. Listen.
That's a-
Pre-season ain't even started yet.
Yeah. But then also
I've
to
had time of not seeing these criminals play football.
Flex will
Everyone's
come
talking
in this
about
studio with no cap. If
But
that,
then
if
also-
that is the front
it.
three.
If bro,
No cap
I
on.
just saw that you
Bro.
was it Masa? Was it? What's that player? The one who was at final. He's-
Musiala.
no Malacia.
Lassie, he's gone back as well. Hasn't he?
yeah,
You can't
yeah,
sell him
Come
either.
back, nah, I don't want him.
Bro, you got fair players to get rid of.
Everyone's
What
coming
about
back.
Luke Shaw?
Staying, not going
Big up Johnny Evans as well, new head of loans.
Johnny
and pathways.
Evans is a red. He hates Scousers. It's a song, so won a lot. Highly decorated.
I would, because they win everything. I would
But
as well.
he's,
if I was
he's
him.
now the new lead for
May as
the
well sing
loans on the
that.
pathway.
May as well sing that song for you. It's about the same use.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You ain't Scousers
But
too.
you win. You win
Nah,
nothing.
Johnny Evans decorated, man. Put respect on Johnny
That
Evans.
front
decorated,
three and
decorated.
It could be.
goal.
Listen, it could be. If we get, that's why. Please, Robbie, Sesko is the better option. Just go and get him. Yeah, he's young. Arteta can mould him to what you need him to be, and just give us a little run.
You could also be facing a front line of Saka,
Done that already.
Sesko or Gyökeres, Rodrigo,
You're not
or
getting
Eze,
Rodrigo.
Okay,
or Eze,
Rodrigo.
You're not getting
that.
Rodrigo.
or
Maybe
Eze.
Eze enough times.
You know who you should go for?
Relax,
Semenyo.
relax.
Go for Semenyo.
Eze.
Yeah.
Go for
Hey!
You ain't
Semenyo.
getting Eze.
Anyhow, we give
No
you licks
chance.
in that first.
Arsenal should dead ass. They should go for Semenyo, get Eze over the line, get Sesko, wrap it up.
You got to get through our defence first. You see how many defenders we're buying.
Mate, even
The
we were
Rock.
15th.
You got to get through the rock, bro. You know what I mean?
We were 15th. You didn't even beat us at Old Trafford.
I know you give us a tough game. We
We won
find
that
it.
game. We're 15th.
They never
There's
win at
something
Old
about
Trafford,
Arsenal.
though.
Yeah.
And even the year
No,
before.
we won the year
The year
before.
before, but even that one. It was
No,
like,
you
oh,
always
you're gonna
give it-
beat us 8-0, and it was
No,
like
you
1-0,
always
and we
you always
went,
give
"Bruh."
us a tough
It doesn't
game.
matter what context
We've
we
always,
were from
always,
before.
always.
Don't get
That's
me
it.
wrong, the game after that we can go back to bit, but Arsenal first game
And
will be up
knocked him
for
out
it.
the FA Cup.
Oh yeah, I forgot that.
Hold that. Anyway, just to finish us off, Mr.
Revenge.
Butter says Matisse and Flex are such cornballs.
Nice.
So yeah, big up to the boys.
Who uses cornballs in 2024?
Cornballs.
You
It's,
just you
it's
saying that
dollars.
is corny as hell, man. I'll be real.
Yeah,
It's just so cringe.
fair enough. No, all good. All right, Flex, Robbie, Matisse
Come on,
from
Wimbledon starting.
DR Sports Sweltering Studio.
They streaming it?
We're gonna go and watch a bit of
You
tennis,
survived, man.
and we'll see you soon on at 5 o'clock.
Dripping all the way down his back.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's a
It's
waterfall
the
down
Guinness
there.
coming out of me from the weekend in Ireland. No, I'm joking. It's not actually that bad. Right, we'll see you at 5 o'clock and again on Thursday. All the best. Take care.